If you want plant tools that actually make plant care smoother, here are 5 that proved themselves over and over in 2025. My name is Stephanie. I love houseplants and I love making plant care easy, inexpensive, and fruitful. I forced myself to narrow down my favorite tools to just 5. And even as I'm walking to sit here to make this video, I am switching out items in my head. If you would like an entire list of everything that I use to care for my houseplants and not just 5, check out this video right here because I talk about everything, or actually like the vast majority of all the items I've ever used for my plants. And I let you know whether I think they're a lifesaver, just nice to haves, or a hard pass. So check out that video after this one if you want a rundown on everything that I use. Let's start with the items that, without a doubt, were the easiest for me to put on this list. The first game changer for 2025 is this tool right here. This is a sprayer. If you had told me a year and a half ago that I would be one of these people who owned a sprayer to water my plants, I would not have believed you. But I just got so tired of having a tiny little watering can and watering over 100 plants with that tiny little can and having to fertilize it every single time. I also got tired of having bottles of like 4-liter bottles, are they, where I accidentally pour way too much water into my plants and made a hot mess. So this was one of the best, if not the best, tool that entered my collection in 2025. I must thank my mom who gifted this to me. So what is the item? This is Vivo Grow electric sprayer, and this is a 2-gallon sprayer. This sprayer was definitely not my idea. I actually saw this in one of Fern's video, Wild Fern, and wanted something that could hold more water, but I wasn't about like the pumping. No, I wasn't going to do that. I remember sitting there thinking to myself, imagine if there was an electric sprayer that could recharge and water your plants instead of having to pump it. It did exist all along. And so when I saw it in her video, I was mind blown and I was like, yes, tell me what it is. And I remember digging through her files, trying to find where the video was that she talked about it and where I could find it. So I appreciate her sharing it. This is fantastic. I absolutely love it. I got it on Amazon and I will link it in my storefront, which will be down below in the description box in my link tree. It holds 2 gallons of water. It is rechargeable. So there's a little battery, which for the first time ever is not in here because I took it out to charge it this morning, but it's just a battery that you physically can take out of here. You plug the charger that comes with it into it to recharge it. It takes what? I think maybe 30 minutes, 40 minutes to charge, maybe an hour. Let's say an hour if it's really drained, and it lasts me a surprisingly long time. I think I would say I charge this every 2 months or so. The thing is, I don't use this every single time that I water my plants because the next item that I talk about is what helps me out. When you think of a sprayer, you think of something that just makes a really hot mess and just gets everywhere. This one is definitely not like that. It does come with different nozzles or different attachments. I don't use any of the attachments. I just leave it empty. It just gives a very smooth flow of water. It doesn't make a mess and it doesn't give out too much water. You're able to control it with the nozzle handle here. And I love it. I actually just put my fertilizer I will talk about in a second, is coming up in this video. And I just pop it in here, give it a little bit of shake. The only thing is that sometimes the fertilizer can settle on the bottom. And so when you pump water out, the first little bit of water is particularly strong. You could actually see the fertilizer coming out. So usually what I do is I will either put it into something else, a bowl or something, and then dilute that and then pour that into another plant. Or sometimes I would just shake this up a little bit more. Or if I'm refilling a reservoir, a plant reservoir, I would just put half the amount into the reservoir and then go back in with just like another cup or something and just pour the other half of plain water in here. But that's the only con that I would say about using this. And it's not even its fault. It's just the fertilizer that I use, the type of fertilizer that is what, causes it to settle on the bottom. But this is hands down a lifesaver. If you live in a bigger home, or if you have floors, if your plants are on multiple floors, this is so handy to be able to just walk between floors with this, and it doesn't get overly heavy. It gets heavy, yes, but it's not uncomfortably heavy. You can still carry it even when it's full, and then it has a little padding on the handle. I just love this thing. I love it, and I recommend it for people with big collections that are spread out over a big space. If you're like my mom, that where like literally 95% of her plants live in one room, I would say this is a little bit of an overkill. But if you have your plants spread out like I do, I think this is a lifesaver. Absolutely love it. The list is 5 items, but I'm gonna have a bonus. It was really hard to narrow this down to only 5. The next item is also watering related, and this one I'm just gonna give you a little bit of a B-roll about it. Now this one is one that actually my mom has, and this is what I had before I got the sprayer. So this is basically sort of like a 2-part item, but we're gonna pair them together in one. So this is basically how many gallon? Is it a 5-gallon bottle? Those big water bottles that you will probably see at a water dispenser, those big blue water bottles, and a little dispenser on the top. This combination has also been fantastic. Earlier this year, I would have told you that this was a nice to have, but this honestly is a lifesaver. It is a lifesaver. All I do is I fill the gigantic bottle. That's the hardest part about it, but I fill it at my kitchen sink, and I actually put it on a bar stool, put it next to my sink, and we have one of those retractable nozzles, and I direct the nozzle in it, and that's how I do it, because it can't fit into the sink. Another great way to fill it up is in a tub. Anyways, I actually fill them up, put my fertilizer amount in there, and then bada bing, bada boom. The nozzles are from Amazon. Again, it'll be in my storefront. It's rechargeable and they last a decent amount of time. I have 2 of these. So I have one in my plant room and one down here. Can you see it? No, you can just see my cat sleeping in the corner. You can see one in the corner over there. So it really takes the pressure off of me using the sprayer, because sometimes maybe I left my sprayer upstairs and I'm like, oh, I need to water my plant. I forgot my sprayer in another room. I can just take the plant out of the cabinet, the smaller plants, and just bring it directly to this and then fill it up with water. Again, it's also great if you have smaller collections. So my mom has a smaller collection, or if all of your collection is in one room, where you can just have this gigantic bottle and you can just refill all of your plants from that. And what my mom does is she will actually fill it into a watering can and then do that. And it's again all pre-fertilized. So all you need to do is refill your watering can from that and then take it to your plants. The only con about that item is that it depends on the pump you get. Some pumps are painfully slow, so you feel like you're just standing there waiting for a really long time. It feels really slow. But on the plus side, a lot of these pumps turn off automatically. Timer, or the amount of water it dispenses before it turns off, it is the perfect amount that refills one of those tiny little watering cans. You could literally just set it up and then walk away, and then it will turn off on its own without overflowing the watering can. I cannot tell you how much this little setup has made watering my plants so much easier, and I am way more likely to water my plants. Fantastic. I recommend them. They make life so easy. The third item that I'm going to talk about, hands down, game changer for 2025 for me. And this is my first year making this kind of video. So if you think I should make a video like this next year, a brand new set of items that were game changers for that year, let me know in the comment section. Give it a thumbs up so I know that you like videos like this and I know to make more. Number 3, the game changer. Absolutely. I don't know if you'd call this a tool, but it is. We use it to care for our plants, and that is the Miracle Grow plant food. I have been using this for a very long time. It's funny because I used to use this only for my outdoor garden, like for my veggies, and I used to use something else for my indoor. Ran out of my indoor fertilizer, one that I wouldn't recommend. It's in that video I was talking about, and I don't remember the name right now, but I decided to use the Miracle Grow from outside and bring it in and started using it for my houseplants. And I was so shocked at how well this works. And of course it does, because it's Miracle Grow, such a famous fertilizer. I was always surprised at how well it works for how inexpensive it is. It is, I think it's only, is it $7? Is it 7 Canadian? I think that's how much it is. but it lasts me a very, 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 very long time. I fertilize my plants with almost every single watering. So I definitely use this heavily. This is not something that I use once in a while, and it works really well. I have noticed that just a couple of my plants are not a huge fan of it. I think namely my anthurium. So this is the first genus that I've ever come across that doesn't seem quite satisfied with this fertilizer. Everything else is happy with this. It's just a matter of, am I putting too much or too little? That's the only thing. But only my anthurium seem to not love it as much. I've heard a lot of people talk about CalMag with anthurium, and I keep meaning to research into that. So if you know of all-in-one great anthurium fertilizer, please help your girl out and let me know in the comments down below so I could check it out. But for now, this one, they seem to tolerate it, but all my other plants absolutely love this. Number 4, we're getting there. The number 4 item that I want to say is a game changer for this year are my Barina lights. You know how much I genuinely love and use Barina. They've been so kind to support me and support my channel. But even before, if you've been following me from like way back, you know that I genuinely use and love Barina grow lights. But again, this is not just the whole brand. The specific one, if I had to pick one, the game changer that I would pick is the standing Barina grow lights. This one back here. These standing lights are my favorite lights to use. They are super versatile in that, well, when I say super versatile, I just mean that I use them either standing up or on my shelves. Sometimes I will lay it on top of a glass or clear shelf and let it beam down on the plants. These lights are fantastic. The quality is very good. They've got different colors, different temperatures you could choose. And if you just want an entire rundown on grow lights, on what's good, on how to choose, how to shop, I have an entire unsponsored grow light video that a lot of you seem to enjoy. If you need some help with figuring out grow lights made simple, what to get, what not to get, what I love, feel free to check out that video. I will give you the thumbnail here and I will also link it for you down below. This winter has been so incredibly dark. Winter started early this year. It's not even winter and I'm already calling it winter. It's actually technically still fall when I'm filming this video. And so the grow lights have been a lifesaver, but these ones by Barina, these ones especially, like I would buy more of them. They are fantastic. I recommend them. I know a lot of people don't like the standing lights. My only con about them is that the 3-legged one, they do tip over quite easily, which is a little bit annoying, but they've come out with a brand new base. So it has a solid bottom and a round base. Those ones are fantastic. I think they are different. I think this one specifically and those ones, I think those new ones are actually more powerful than the original ones that I have, but they are fantastic. Absolutely love Barina, but especially those standing grow lights. They are chef's kiss. Recommend them 100%. And I love them even more because they help your plants face forward. When you have lights from up above, your plants tend to point up at the lights. And that's not my favorite look always, depending on the plants, but usually that's not my favorite look, especially for bigger leafed plants like anthurium and philodendron or plants on moss poles. You really want them to face forward so you can enjoy the beauty. And so that's why I really love these lights. Before I share with you the 5th and final game changer, some of my best tools of the year, I will give you one bonus item. And the bonus item is, surprisingly, it's fertilizer related, not pest related. It is the Miracle Grow Orchid Spray. This stuff, it is fantastic. It is the yummy stuff, especially HOYA. I have used this for anthurium before, and I can't tell you 100% if my anthurium love it. I have heard people say that anthurium can absorb nutrients from their leaves. I haven't seen any significant change with my anthurium to confirm this as yet. But with my HOYA, I can tell you with a certainty that this stuff is the good stuff. I spray this on my HOYA once a month. There was a time when I did this every 2 weeks and I got a little carried away and the leaves got a little abnormally big. I wouldn't recommend that because it just looks weird. It looks unnatural. It doesn't look like the plant is supposed to look that way. So I don't recommend overdoing this. You can, go overboard. So don't do that. So I recommend once a month or so, like once every 3 weeks or so, I would spray this on my Hoya and they love it. Grow a little bit faster. Sometimes they even bloom. I do this especially when they're looking like they're trying to bloom because they might need a little bit of a boost at that point. Definitely recommend it. It is worth it. It's not all hype. It's super cheap. And there's another one that my viewers have recommended that I've never tried. What is it called? It is called, is it Thrive Super Thrive or something like that? I've never tried it because I love the Miracle Grow, but I've heard Super Thrive, or is that the name? If it's not, I'll put it here. But let me know in the comments down below if you know what I mean. But this one is one of my favorites. Okay, so the last item that I want to talk about is one that I have no gripes with. I considered putting a pest spray or solution on today's list. I decided against it because I'm still not 1000% in love with my pest sprays. There are things about it that I don't quite love. I'll go into that in a whole other video on pest treatment. So I'll save that for another time. The one thing that jumped out to me that 1000% changed the game for me in 2025 is this guy. This guy. You might be wondering, what, Stephanie? I thought you were gonna say self-watering pots. This is a self-watering pot. In my mind, this is a clear grow pot. Clear grow pot. It's 8 inches. I get it at my local nursery. Again, this is another thing that was an idea from my mom. You know how much I love clear grow pots. I love them because you can see the roots. You can see the health of your roots. You can see if they're white and juicy or brown and mushy, which means rot. And so I just love having clear pots so I can see the roots of my plants, especially my anthurium, because anthurium, I find them to be quite thirsty, but then you can easily cross the line of overwatering them. Anyways, the reason that this was a game changer for me is if you are an anthurium collector, you know that anthurium outgrow their pots so fast. And to find a self-watering pot that's this size without breaking the bank, without being $50, $60 is unheard of. So my mom one day sent me a picture, I've told this story before, of this, like of a pot. And I was wondering, what are you showing me? She's like, no, this is a self-watering pot. I made this up. So I'm going to show you some clips, some pictures. I don't have a one set up right here, but I have showed this to my Patreon and YouTube members. Like, this is old news for them. They've seen this before. I basically get these pots from my local nursery. I bought some string, I guess you could call it some vinyl cord from the dollar store. And I got quite a bit, like it comes quite a bit in the pack. And I lace it through this when I'm potting up my plant. And then the kicker is a pot from the dollar store that's actually a trash can. And if you're in Canada, I get it from Dollarama. You pop it in and it literally looks like a pot. Yes, it literally looks like a pot. It looks like you bought it that way. And when I tell you, that blew my mind. And so this is 5 Canadian. The garbage can, I think, is 2 Canadian. And the cord, I mean, that's what cents, because I'm just cutting a bit of the cord. The cord was, I think, $2 as well. So for basically $7, $7-ish, I have like a full-on self-watering pot, and this suspends in the pot and it leaves a little bit of reservoir. And so this was such a game changer. This was such a relief to me because so many of my plants, they get really big, and then what? I still want to have and maintain a self-watering setup so that they can still grow at a really good pace. I'm so glad my mom discovered this and shared this with me. And yeah, so what I suggest is if you have any clear in our pot that is such a unique size, just go to your dollar store and just go testing it and see what fits. And who knows, you may very well make your own self-watering pots. So that's it for today's video on the 5+1 game changer tools, plant tools that I discovered in 2025. things that turned my world upside down in a good way and made my plant care so much easier and so much more enjoyable. If you enjoyed this video and if you learned anything from it, please consider subscribing to the channel. It helps me a whole lot and it helps me to keep getting content like this out to you. Thanks again for watching. I appreciate you being here. And if you enjoyed this video, I think you might like this video. All the plant tools, the one I was telling you about that I use ever. See you next time.